Beloved, you are not here by accident. If you are hearing these words, it is because divine order has brought you to this very moment. God's blessings are flowing toward you, and they carry within them the power to open the way for large sums of money to appear in your life. Money is not evil, nor is it distant from you. Money is simply God in action, moving through the channels of circulation to serve you, to bless you, and to allow you to be a blessing to others. Money is God in action. It is not something separate from the divine, nor is it something to fear or mistrust. Too often, people have been taught to see money as a source of worry, or even as something that corrupts. But in truth, money is simply a form of energy, a channel through which God's abundance flows into the material world. Just as sunlight nourishes the earth and water sustains life, money moves through the channels of circulation to bless, uplift, and support. When you begin to understand money as God in action, your whole relationship with it changes. You no longer see it as something you must chase, grasp, or struggle for. Instead, you begin to see it as a divine servant, eager to obey the direction of your faith-filled words and thoughts. Every coin, every note, every transaction is touched with divine intelligence, for nothing is outside the reach of spirit. When you hold money in your hand, you are holding a visible expression of God's invisible substance. It is not the paper, the metal, or the number in the bank that matters, but the power and blessing behind it. When you recognize money as an instrument of God's love, you treat it differently. You bless it, you release it without fear, and you allow it to circulate, knowing it will return multiplied. To cling to money with anxiety is to shrink the flow of abundance, but to let it move freely with trust is to participate in the rhythm of divine supply. Speaking of money as God in action awakens prosperity in your experience. The words you use about money carry tremendous creative power. If you declare that money is scarce, it becomes scarce in your life. If you say money is always flowing to you in perfect ways, then the channels of supply begin to open. Your word is law, and when you affirm the truth that money is a divine force working for your good, you align yourself with infinite substance. Large sums of money can come to you quickly and easily when you stop resisting and start blessing. By affirming daily that money is God in action, you place yourself in harmony with the divine circulation of wealth. Think of money as a river. It flows, it moves, it nourishes everything in its path. When you dam up the river with fear, it stagnates, but when you allow it to flow, it refreshes, renews, and multiplies. This river of money is infinite because it is part of God's creation, and God's creation is without end. You are entitled to drink deeply from this river, not in greed, but in joy, knowing that as you prosper, you are also able to help others prosper. Every bill you pay, every gift you give, every need you meet with money becomes an act of divine circulation, spreading blessings outward and returning blessings inward. To see money as God in action is to free yourself from the chains of worry and lack. It lifts you into a consciousness of abundance where you no longer fear tomorrow, for you know that the supply is endless and always available. Each time you receive money, give thanks. Each time you spend money, release it with love. In this way, money ceases to be a struggle and becomes a sacred channel, ever flowing, ever blessing, ever increasing. Your word is your wand, the tool given to you by God to shape your world and draw to you every blessing you desire. Words are not empty sounds. They are living seeds, carrying within them the power to create form, circumstances, and opportunities. Each time you speak about money, prosperity, or your future, you are planting seeds into the soil of the universe, and those seeds must bring forth a harvest. If you declare lack, then lack must appear. If you declare abundance, then abundance must come. The universe cannot deny the authority of the spoken word, for it is law, and what you speak with conviction begins to manifest. When you say with faith, "Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily," you are not making a wish. You are commanding divine substance to take shape in your life. God's Spirit moves upon your word, and what you decree with confidence must find expression. Too many people cancel their blessings by careless speech. They say, "I can't afford that," or "money is hard to come by," and those words become their reality. They do not realize that every negative word spoken about money pushes prosperity farther away. But when you learn to guard your tongue and speak only words of increase, words of faith, and words of wealth, then you direct the power of God into constructive channels. Your word not only shapes your outer world, but also trains your inner mind. When you speak affirmations of abundance repeatedly, you impress these truths upon your subconscious. The subconscious does not argue or question. It simply accepts the words spoken with emotion and begins to attract people, situations, and opportunities to match it. By saying, "Money is God in action, and it comes to me in overflowing measure," you are programming your inner self to expect prosperity, and expectation always precedes manifestation. It is not enough to think about wealth in silence. Thought is creative, but the spoken word has a stronger vibration, one that carries your desire into the ether with greater force. Speaking aloud is a declaration to the universe, a proclamation that you are ready and willing to receive. This is why prayer, affirmation, and decree have always held such power in spiritual practice. The tongue can bind you, or the tongue can set you free. By making your word your wand, you choose freedom. Whenever you face a situation of financial pressure, resist the urge to speak fear. Instead, wield your word as a wand of light. Declare, "God is my supply, and I have more than enough." The moment you speak it, the energy shifts, unseen doors begin to open, and the way is prepared for your needs to be met. What may look impossible in the outer world bends before the authority of your word when it is spoken in faith. Words are not merely communication, they are creation. Each phrase is a brushstroke painting the canvas of your life. By choosing words of wealth, prosperity, and divine supply, you paint for yourself a masterpiece of abundance that no one and nothing can erase. Release fear and doubt, for they are the great thieves of abundance. Fear whispers that there will not be enough, and doubt insists that blessings are for others but not for you. These are lies of the lower self, illusions that keep you bound to lack and limitation. When you live in fear, you close the door to the divine flow. When you entertain doubt, you block the very channels through which God's blessings wish to reach you. The truth is that the universe is rich beyond measure, and your portion is already prepared. Fear cannot change divine supply, but it can blind you to its presence. Doubt cannot reduce God's riches, but it can cause you to walk past them without claiming them. Every time you say, "What if the money doesn't come?" or "What if I fail?" you are creating a vibration that pushes your good away. Fear is faith in reverse. It is faith in lack, faith in failure, faith in struggle. But just as fear attracts more to fear, faith attracts more to faith. When you replace fear with trust, when you release doubt and choose belief, you align yourself with divine law, and abundance flows naturally into your life. To release fear and doubt is to say with your whole heart, "I trust God completely. I know that what I need will arrive, and I know it will come at the perfect time." Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in the soil, but then spends each day doubting the harvest. He digs up the ground, afraid that nothing is growing. He waters one day, but refuses the next because of his fear. Such a farmer would never see a crop, and yet many treat their affirmations and prayers this way. They plant the seed of prosperity with one word, but the next day they dig it up with doubt, saying, "It will never work for me." True faith is steady. It plants the seed and then trusts the process, knowing that growth is happening beneath the surface, even when it cannot be seen. To release fear is not to deny that challenges exist, but to choose not to give them power. To release doubt is not to ignore obstacles, but to know that God has already made a way around them. When fear rises, answer it with truth. When doubt whispers, Silence it with affirmations of faith. Say, I walk in divine abundance. All my needs are met now and forever. Speak it until the vibration of those words replaces the voice of doubt within you. As you let go of fear and doubt, peace fills the space they once occupied. That peace is the proof of God's presence, the assurance that abundance is already on its way. Fear binds, but faith frees. Doubt delays, but trust accelerates. Release them both, and you will discover that the wealth, opportunities, and blessings you once longed for are closer than you imagined, waiting for you to step forward with courage and claim them. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the storehouse of heaven and allows blessings to flow without end. When you give thanks for what you have, you magnify it, and when you give thanks in advance for what is unseen, you draw it swiftly into form. Gratitude is a spiritual magnet that pulls abundance closer, for it is the language of faith, the song of trust, the vibration that signals to God that you are ready to receive. Many people wait until something good appears before they give thanks, but the wise soul understands that gratitude must come first. Just as a seed must be watered before it grows, so must your desires be watered with thanksgiving before they can manifest in your life. Each time you look at the money in your hand, whether small or large, bless it and say, "Thank you, God, for the increase now appearing." Such words may seem simple, but they carry great power. What you bless multiplies, and what you curse diminishes. Those who complain about money find it fleeing from them, but those who bless money see it return in greater measure. When you thank God for even the smallest coin, you open the door for larger sums to enter. Gratitude transforms what seems little into much, and what seems delayed into present reality. Gratitude also dissolves the energy of fear and lack. It is impossible to be truly thankful and fearful at the same time. When your heart is full of thanks, you cannot dwell on what is missing, for your focus is fixed on what is already given. This shift in attention raises your vibration and places you in harmony with divine abundance. The universe responds to the energy you emit, and gratitude radiates the highest frequency of wealth. The thankful heart becomes a magnet for blessings, drawing opportunities, money, and support from every direction. Practice gratitude not only for money but for all things. Give thanks for the roof over your head, the food on your table, the health in your body, the love in your life. As you do, you will see that everything you bless begins to expand. Even challenges can be blessed, for within them lie lessons, growth, and hidden treasures. To give thanks in all circumstances is to declare that God is always at work, turning every situation to your good. When you rise in the morning, begin with gratitude. When you rest at night, end with gratitude. Let your words of thanks be constant, for they keep the channels of supply wide open. Say aloud, I am grateful for the wealth now flowing to me. I am grateful for the large sums of money that bless my life. I am grateful that every need is met before I even ask. These affirmations, spoken with feeling, plant seeds of prosperity in the fertile soil of the universe. Gratitude is not a duty but a joy. It shifts your vision from scarcity to abundance, from waiting to receiving, from hoping to knowing. The grateful heart is never empty, for it is always open, and into that openness God pours riches, opportunities, and blessings beyond measure. Faith opens unseen doors, doors that the human eye cannot yet perceive, but that the soul knows are waiting. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the power that transforms ideas into substance, desires into reality, prayers into answered blessings. It is not dependent on outer evidence, rather it creates the evidence. Where fear sees obstacles and impossibilities, faith sees opportunities and divine pathways. Faith does not need to know the how, for it rests in the certainty that God has already prepared the way. The unseen doors swing wide when you choose to believe without doubt, When you speak words of prosperity, even when appearances suggest lack, faith is the invisible key that unlocks visible abundance. Imagine walking through a corridor lined with many doors, all closed to the physical eye. Faith tells you that behind each one is a treasure prepared just for you. Though you cannot yet see inside, you place your hand on the doorknob with confidence, knowing it will open when you arrive at the right moment. This is the nature of faith. It does not force or struggle, it simply trusts and allows. Large sums of money, opportunities, and unexpected blessings are behind those doors, waiting for your faith to call them forth. When you affirm prosperity, you are knocking on the door of abundance. When you trust God's timing, you are turning the key. Each act of faith, whether it is giving thanks in advance, sowing a seed of generosity, or declaring the truth of your wealth, opens a new passageway in the unseen. Suddenly, people you never met appear to help you. Ideas arrive that change your circumstances, and opportunities unfold that you could not have planned. These are the doors that faith opens, doors that logic could never predict. Faith also keeps you steady when appearances tempt you to waver. The outer world may shout of shortage or limitation, but faith whispers of abundance and provision. When you cling to the whisper instead of the shout, you align with divine law, and the law must deliver. Faith is not passive, it is active trust. It is speaking, affirming, and acting as though your blessing is already here. This alignment of thought, word, and action creates a magnetic field that pulls your desires into your reality. There is no limit to what faith can open. Where others see closed doors, you will see openings. Where others see dead ends, you will see a way forward. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. When you hold faith for prosperity, you hold the substance of money before it appears in your hand. You hold the evidence of wealth before it touches your bank account. And as surely as night follows day, what you hold in faith must eventually take form. Faith does not beg, it declares. Faith does not wonder, it knows. Faith does not wait in worry, it rests in assurance. Every time you choose faith over fear, another unseen door swings open. Every time you speak words of abundance in the face of lack, another path is revealed. And as you walk forward in faith, the invisible becomes visible, the closed becomes open, and the blessings prepared for you rush into your life in divine order and perfect timing.